guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts. This is Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. I hope everyone had a great week last week. I can't say anything exciting happened. It was just a week. Just, you know how you just have your everyday, your normal weeks. Got things to do, chores, doctor's appointments, you know, things you got to do and run around and errands. So I did all that last week and got that all accomplished. And now I just got to wait for next week's list of things to do, right? So I got 2 quilts done this week, and before I show you these, I want to just show you a previous quilt so that I can explain this one to you. A couple weeks ago, I showed you the road trip quilt. This is the one where you just take your 4.5 inch rectangles, and some of them are 4.5 inch squares, 6.5, 7 or 9.5 inch long. I'd gone through and I cut a bunch of them up. I just took all of the fabric that had been donated to me for the Rare Bears, and I incorporated it into the charity quilts because I'd asked permission first and they said it would be fine to just use it for whatever I needed. So instead of using it for that charity, I used it for this charity. This is what it looked like. Now this is a 2-row repeat. And for whatever reason, I just could never keep the 2 rows straight, and you'd have to do certain ones. You know, you do a medium, a short, a medium, a long, and then so that none of your seams would line up and it'd be more like a brick road and stuff like that. And I think this quilt turned out great. But like I said, I couldn't remember the sequencing. I know I could make little piles and everything and keep it all organized, but that's just extra planning ahead of time. When I was stitching up this weekend, I wanted to just go ahead and have fun. So I took a whole bunch of the ones that I felt were like teenage boy prints. Nothing too girly, or nothing girly at all, nothing for 2 little kids or anything like that. No dinosaurs, even though big boys like dinosaurs still. And I just randomly stuck them all together, and I stitched them all together like you would a jelly roll quilt, like binding, and I just did one right after the other. And then I did like I did with my monster, with the 2.5 inch jelly roll strips to the monster quilt that I did previously. And I just laid it down with the yardstick and my cutting mat, and I found 40 inches. And I just go ahead and I just whacked them all off about 40, 42 so I can trim as needed. This one is more of a lap quilt, or for a, I mean, I could cuddle up in this easily, but it's not something I would use on my bed, so it's not twin size. But I just love the way this one turned out. I went ahead and I put 2-inch black strips in between, because after I sewed all these fabrics together and I chopped all my rows at 40, 42 inches, I just didn't have enough for length. I wanted this to be, I think I was going for 40 by 50 or something like that. So to make sure I had enough, I just went ahead and I ended up being that I believe I have 11 rows of these bricks. So I just needed 11 more rows of these 2-inch strips to make it to the length I wanted. I put a nice picture of this up on my Instagram so you could see it really well. I had it hanging up outside in a nice natural daylight with the sun shining through it and all, and I really, really love the way this turned out. I think I'm going to do that with the rest of these. I still have more of these. I have some little kid ones and definitely enough for a girl version. So I think I'm going to do the same thing and then just change whatever I use for this contrast row right here. Instead of using black for the girls, maybe a little pink or purple or white or something to set it off. I have a bunch of this green buggy fabric still, so maybe I'll have one that has green strips in it. I still have plenty of green strips left over, green fabric left over from when I was doing the monster quilts. So yeah, so this is the one I made last week. And like I said, I think I'm definitely going to make more like this. I really love the way this turned out. I did not specifically cut any of this outer space fabric a certain way, but it just ended up that there was planets that just sat in certain spots. And there's the Earth. And then this one down here has the moon on it. Love it. This is my current favorite. And then I also showed you last week the quilt top that was donated that wasn't quite wide enough, that I didn't think it'd be wide enough based on its length. And I talked about putting some borders on it. I did it. So I had had this solid blue that I thought went really well with all the other blues and set it off nicely. So now I have 2 quilt tops ready. I'm going to go ahead and work on the binding today and get those all set. I went out and purchased several boxes of the gallon-size Ziploc bags. Now I know you're not supposed to store your fabric in Ziploc bags, but it's not going to be for very long. And I really don't think it's going to cause any deterioration problems with it. So this way I have my quilt top, and then if I have the binding, I put it right there on the front so I can see it. And then as I get going, the next step will be to pull it out and I can get the backing ready and stuff like that. This way I can see all the ones I have done and I can keep track of them. So right now I have 7 quilt tops and most of the binding done. And if since I do these on Saturdays, I'm just going to count Saturdays, because depending on how you count, you know, some weeks have like 4 or 5 Tuesdays, and some weeks have 5 Saturdays, and some have 5 Sundays. You know how the calendar is always weird. I'm just going to count Saturdays because that's when I make these. So there's been 7 Saturdays, and I have 7 quilts. So yes, I am right on track so far. I feel like I'm missing a quilt though, because this one was going to be an extra one, so I feel like there's one hiding around here somewhere. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Either I'm caught up or I'm one ahead, right? I still have all these strips made for a cut and ready to go to make a second one of these Jelly Roll Monster quilts. And then I still have a good decent amount of the rectangles made for that's the problem. There's 3 quilts here. Haha, I knew there had to have been an extra. So I have enough for 2 more of these quilts. So I do have 8 quilts. I am 1 week ahead. I was a week ahead. That's okay. And that's it for me this week. I hope you guys have had some time to get some things done creatively, or you've been able to clean and organize your craft room. I know some of you guys have been trying to tidy up a little bit. This is my tidying up. This was my main organization for this week, and I didn't feel like doing anything else. I just wanted to play, so I did. Okay, I'm off to watch all you guys' videos, and I will talk to you later. Bye!